gather some guardsmen and get down there.
Already ordered my men to muster near the main gate.
Good. Don't fail me. There's no time to stand on ceremony, my friend. I need your help again. I want you to go with Irileth and help her fight this dragon. You survived Helgen, so you have more experience with dragons than anyone else here. But I haven't forgotten the service you did for me in retrieving the Dragon Stone for Farengar. As a token of my esteem, I have instructed Avenici that you are now permitted to purchase property in the city. And please, accept this gift from my personal armory.
I should come along. I would very much like to see this dragon.
No, I can't afford to risk both of you. I need you here working on ways to defend. The city against these dragons.
As you command.
One last thing, Irileth. This isn't a death or glory mission. I need to know what we're dealing with.
Don't worry, my lord. I'm the very soul of Kor.
inside.
Hello?
Welcome. I take a look. May your road lead you to warm sands.
No signs of any dragon right now. It sure looks like he's been. I know it looks bad. We've got to figure out what happened. And if that dragon is still skulking around somewhere. Spread out and look for survivors. We need to know what we're dealing with. Guardsman, what happened here? Where's this dragon?
I don't know. Let's save us. Here he comes again.
Here he comes! Find cover and make every arrow count!
Well, another package of straw.
We're here to teach you a lesson.
This'll teach you
Never
not to
should
be
have come.
The road takes us past none of the bridges. We can fill our skins there. If the river is not frozen to ice, perhaps.
Need something? Take a look. Until next time.
Look, you've already been told you're not allowed here. Turn around and go back the way you came.
We're causing no trouble. All we ask is to look for her.
I don't care what you're doing. After what happened, you're lucky I don't toss you in jail. Now get lost.
We will be back. This is not over. You there. We're looking for someone in Whiterun. We will pay good money for information. A woman, a foreigner in these lands. Redguard, like us. She is likely not using her true name. We will pay for any information regarding her location. We are not welcome here in Whiterun, so we will be in Rorikstead if you learn anything. We're looking for a fugitive who comes from Hammerfell. A Redguard woman. She may be somewhere in this city. It's none of your concern. All you need to know is that we're paying for information. If that doesn't interest you, feel free to walk away. We will find her eventually.
Let me know if you see anything you like. You wanna fight? That why you have your weapon out? Welcome to War Maidens. Now you, my girl, have definitely come to the finest weapons and armor. Looking to protect yourself or deal some damage? Everything you see here was made with skill and care by my wife, Adrienne. Huh? we've got arms and armor of all kinds. Everything you see here was made with skill and care by my wife, Adrienne.
I ain't done nothing. Oh, thank you. Divines bless your kind heart. Yes.
Welcome to Bellathor's General Goods. Welcome indeed. Everything's for sale, my friend. Oh, a bit of this and a bit of that. Some may call this junk. Me, I call them treasures. Do come back. Everything's for sale, my friend. You need visit no other shops today. Be careful! I can tell you're a discriminating customer. Perhaps you're a wealthy one, too, hmm? Careful with that. I assure you, I'm prepared to make any deal. Hey, hands up! Huh? I can tell you're a discriminating customer. Perhaps you're a wealthy one, too, hmm? Everything's for sale, my friend. You need visit no other shops today.
Biography of the Wolf Queen by Qatar Erifanis. A history of the unambiguously evil Queen Potema, the so-called Wolf Queen of Solitude. Few historic figures are viewed as unambiguously evil, but Potema, the so-called Wolf Queen of Solitude, surely qualifies for that dishonor. Born to the imperial family in the 67th year of the Third Era, Potema was immediately presented to her grandfather, the Emperor Uriel Septim II, a famously kind-hearted man who viewed the solemn, intense baby and whispered, "She looks like a she-wolf, about ready to pounce." Potema's childhood in the imperial city was certainly difficult from the start. Her father, Prince Pelagius Septim, and her mother, Kizara, showed little affection for their brood. Her eldest brother Antiochus, 16 at Potema's birth, was already a drunkard and womanizer, infamous in the empire. Her younger brothers Sephiros and Magnus were born much later, so for years she was the only child in the empire. The Nightingales, Fact or Fiction, by Wilhelmina Roth. Dissertation discussing whether a mysterious group of thieves actually exists. Mention the Nightingale to any thief worth his salt, and he'll laugh in your face. He'll tell you that the supposed Avengers and the Daedric Lord Nocturnal are nothing but fictional characters who live nowhere else but within the tales designed to scare young footpads into doing what they are told. But are they fictional or simply misunderstood? While it's true that most scholars would scoff at the notion of a holy sect appearing within the normally unethical and unorganized rabble that is the Thieves' Guild, evidence suggests that such a group existed at one time within the borders of Skyrim. 120 years before the publication of this tome, a corpse was discovered wearing a strange suit of armor that was described as forged midnight. The tattered armor bore a crest of some sort, the symbol of a bird embracing a circle of undetailed blackness. The remains and the armor was taken to the College of Winterhold for study, but mysteriously vanished only a day after it arrived. The crest from this armor was circulated around Skyrim for years, but identification proved almost impossible. Then, the most unlikely of sources, a prisoner incarcerated within the mines of Markarth, claimed that it was the mark of a group of thieves who called themselves the Nightingales. When pressed for more information, the prisoner claimed that the Nightingales were warriors of Nocturnal and performed her bidding without question. He claimed his source was someone he knew within the Thieves' Guild of Skyrim, but he refused to identify them by name, so his story was quickly dismissed. The second piece of evidence pointing to the existence of the Nightingales exists to this day just outside of Riften. Discovered at the terminus of a short pathway off the main road stands a stone of unidentified blackened material. Carved into its face is the same avian symbol previously found on the dark suit of armor. To those that subscribe to the existence of the Nightingales, this was thought to be some sort of a meeting place. To others, this symbol was once again dismissed as a hoax or simply a diversion created by the Thieves' Guild. The final and most controversial sample of evidence is a passage found scrawled on the inside of a cell wall in Whiterun. The cell had previously been occupied by a dunman named Lorthus, who was incarcerated for murder and set for execution. After the deed was performed and Lorthus' cell was examined, the following was found etched into one of the stone blocks. "Take my hand, Lady Nocturnal, for it's my will to serve. As a nightingale, I'm born anew. Let my past echo our triumph." This is the first and only time that a solid connection between Nocturnal and the Nightingales has been made. The unusual nature of the passage, the religious connotations toward Nocturnal made by a career criminal, kept discussions lively for years regarding the possibility of this group actually existing. Sadly, since not a single piece of evidence beyond this has surfaced to date, this exciting discovery faded into obscurity and the debate subsided. With these scant samples of evidence, conclusions are difficult to formulate. All we're left with are more questions than answers. Can religion and thievery coexist? Does the Daedric Lord Nocturnal have active agents roaming Skyrim with a no doubt nefarious purpose? Does the Thieves' Guild have extensive knowledge of the Nightingales but remain sworn to secrecy? Perhaps one day the answers to these questions will be revealed, but at present it falls to you, the reader, to decide whether the Nightingales are fact or merely fiction. A Dream of Sovngarde by Skyrim Freewinter, a soldier's tale of his dream before a battle. In a few hours, I will likely be dead. My men and I, Nords of Skyrim all, will soon join with the Emperor's legions to attack the Imperial City. The Aldmeri are entrenched within, and our losses will be severe. It is a desperate gambit, for if we do not reclaim the city, we will lose the war. Last night, I prayed to mighty Talos for courage and strength in the battle to come. In these last cold hours before the sun rises, I sit down to write this account of a dream I had not long after. I believe this dream was the answer to my prayers, and I would pass along the wisdom it contained to my kinsmen for the battles they will fight in the years after my passing. In the dream, I walked through mists towards the sound of laughter, merriment, and the songs of the North. The mist soon cleared, and before me lay a great chasm. Waters thundered over its brim, and so deep it was, I could not see the bottom. A great bridge, made all of whalebone, was the only means to cross, and so I took it. It was only a few steps onto the bridge that I encountered a warrior, grim and strong. I am soon master of trials. He said to me, his voice booming and echoing upon the walls of the high mountains all around us. With a wave, he bade me pass on. I knew in my heart that I was granted passage only because I was a visitor. Should the hour come when I return here after my mortal life, the legends say that I must best this dread warrior in single combat. Beyond the bridge, a great stone longhouse rose up before me, so tall as to nearly touch the clouds. Though it took all my strength, I pushed open the towering oaken door and beheld the torchlit feast hall. Here were assembled the greatest heroes of the Nords, all drinking mead poured from great kegs and singing battle songs. Suckling pigs turned on a long iron spit over a roaring fire. My mouth watered at the smell of roast meat, and my heart was glad to hear the songs of old. "Come forth!" cried out a hoary man, who stood upon a high wooden chair. This I knew to be Iskramor, father of Skyrim and the Nords. I approached and knelt before him. "You find yourself in Sovngarde, Hall of the Honored Dead. Now, what would you have of me, son of the North?" he bellowed. "I seek counsel," said I, "for tomorrow we fight a desperate battle, and my heart is full of fear." Iskramor raised his tankard to lips and drank until the cup was empty. Then he spoke once more. "Remember this always, son of the North. A Nord is judged not by the manner in which he lived, but the manner in which he died." And with that, he cast aside his flagon, raised his fist in the air, and roared a great cheer. The other heroes rose to their feet and cheered in answer. The sound still rang in my ears when I awoke. I gathered my men and told them of my vision. The world seemed to fill their hearts with courage. The horns are blowing, and the banners are raised. The time has come to muster. May Talos grant us victory this day. If I am found worthy, may I once again look upon that great feast hall. Skyrim Freewinter.
I'm a bard by trade. Perhaps you've heard of me. I enjoy steady patronage in the Bannered Mare. I do hope you'll watch me perform. Well, I was thinking maybe something mournful. A high elf dirge, perhaps. These are rather trying times, after all. It's settled then. Yeah, take care of yourself. It's the lead. And that's hardest, I know.
What could it mean? The return of the Dragonborn? And who among us could possibly hold that honor and such power?
What do you need? Need something? Hmm? Huh? Need something? You expect me to believe that?
Thief of Virtue, a bawdy tale of one thief's quest for coin and the capture of a lady's virtue. Now, let me tell you the tale of the Thief of Virtue. In the land of Hammerfell, in the city of Such, there lived a baron who was quite wealthy. He was a noted collector of rare coins. The Baroness Veronique found the whole thing quite tedious. However, she did appreciate the lifestyle that the baron's wealth provided. Ravis Terinius was a noted thief. He claimed to be a master thief in the mythical guild of thieves. However, that was more likely just a braggadocio. The only known thieves guild was wiped out over 450 years ago. Ravius decided that the baron should share his wealth. Specifically, he should share it with Ravius. The wily thief crept into the baron's castle one night, intending to do just that. The walls of the castle were noted for their height and their unscalability. Ravius cleverly used arrow of penetration to affix a rope to the top of the battlements. Once on the battlements, he had to evade the baron's guards. By hiding in the shadows of the crenellations, he was able to work his way to the keep undetected. Entering the keep was child's play for a thief of his caliber. However, a cunning lock with no less than 13 pins protected the private quarters of the baron. Ravius broke only 9 lockpicks to open it. Not bad. Using only a fork, a bit of string, and a wineskin, he disabled the 7 traps guarding the baron's coin collection. Truly, Ravius was a master among thieves. With the coins safely in his grasp, Ravius began his escape only to find the way blocked. The baron had found the open door and was raising the guard to scour the castle. Ravius fled deeper into the castle, one step ahead of the questing guards. His only way out led through the boudoir of Baroness Veronique. He entered to find the lady preparing for bed. Now, it should be said at this point that Ravius was noted for his handsome looks, while the Baroness was noted for her plainness. Both of these facts were immediately recognized by each of the pair. "Doest thee come to plunder my virtue?" asked the lady, all a-tremble. "Nay, fair lady," Ravius said, thinking quickly. "Plunder be a harsh term to apply upon such a delicate flower as your virtue." "I see thou hast made off with mine husband's precious coins." Ravius looked deeply into her eyes, and saw the only path by which he would escape this night with his life. It would require a double sacrifice. "Though these coins are of rarest value, I have now found a treasure that is beyond all value," Ravius said smoothly. "Tell me, O beauteous one, why doest thy husband set 7 deadly traps around these tawdry coins, but only a simple lock upon the door of his virtuous wife?" "Ignace protects those things that are dearest to him," Veronique replied with ire. "I would give all the gold in my possession to spend but a moment basking in your radiance." With that, Ravius set down the coins he had worked so hard to steal. The Baroness swooned into his arms. When a captain of the guard asked to search her quarters, she hid Ravius most skillfully. She turned over the coins, claiming the thief dropped them when he fled out the window. With that sacrifice made, Ravius steeled himself for the second. He robbed the Lady Veronique of her virtue that night. He robbed her of it several times, lasting well into the wee hours of the morning. Exhausted, yet sated, he stole away in the pre-dawn hours.
Gold solves most problems, doesn't it? Of course.
Need some?
Come on in. We got warm food, warm drink, and warm bed.
I don't like you.
Need something? Need something? Hmm?
Yes? Need something? Hmm?
Brief History of the Empire by Strana Carthage III, Imperial Historian. Description of events in the history of the Empire. Part 1. Before the rule of Tiber Septim, all Tamriel was in chaos. The poet Trachaisis calls that period of continuous unrest days and nights of blood and venom. The kings were a petty lot of grasping tyrants who fought Tiber's attempts to bring order to the land. But they were as disorganized as they were dissolute, and the strong hand of Septim brought peace forcibly to Tamriel. The year was Second Era 896. The following year, the Emperor declared the beginning of a new era. Thus began the Third Era, Year Odd. For 38 years, the Emperor Tiber reigned supreme. It was a lawful, pious, and glorious age, when justice was known to one and all, from serf to sovereign. On Tiber's death, it reigned for an entire fortnight, as if the land of Tamriel itself was weeping. The Emperor's grandson, Pelagius, came to the throne. Though his reign was short, he was as strong and resolute as his father had been, and Tamriel could have enjoyed a continuation of the Golden Age. Alas, an unknown enemy of the Septim family hired that accursed organization of cutthroats, the Dark Brotherhood, to kill the Emperor Pelagius I, as he knelt at prayer at the Temple of the One in the Imperial City. Pelagius I's reign lasted less than 3 years. Pelagius had no living children, so the crown imperial passed to his first cousin, the daughter of Tiber's brother, Agnorath. Kintyra, former queen of Silvanar, assumed the throne as Kintyra I. Her reign was blessed with prosperity and good harvests, and she herself was an avid patroness of art, music, and dance. Kintyra's son was crowned after her death, the first emperor of Tamriel to use the imperial name Uriel. Uriel I was the great lawmaker of the Septim dynasty, and a promoter of independent organizations and guilds. Under his kind but firm hand, the Fighters Guild and the Mages Guild increased in prominence throughout Tamriel. His son and successor, Uriel II, reigned for 18 years, from the death of Uriel I in 3rd Era 64 to Pelagius II's ascension in 3rd Era 82. Tragically, the rule of Uriel II was cursed with blights, plagues, and insurrections. The tenderness he inherited from his father did not serve Tamriel well, and little justice was done. Pelagius II inherited not only the throne from his father, but the debt from the latter's poor financial and judicial management. Pelagius dismissed all of the Elder Council and allowed only those willing to pay great sums to resume their seats. He encouraged similar acts amongst his vassals, the kings of Tamriel, and by the end of his 17-year reign, Tamriel had returned to prosperity. His critics, however, have suggested that any advisor possessed of wisdom but not of gold had been summarily ousted by Pelagius. This may have led to some of the troubles his son Antiochus faced when he in turn became emperor. Antiochus was certainly one of the more flamboyant members of the usually austere Septim family. He had numerous mistresses and nearly as many wives, and was renowned for the grandeur of his dress and his high good humor. Unfortunately, his reign was rife with civil war, surpassing even that of his grandfather Uriel II. The War of the Isle in 3rd Era 110, 12 years after Antiochus assumed the throne, nearly took the province of Somerset Isle away from Tamriel. The united alliance of the kings of Somerset and Antiochus only managed to defeat King Orgum of the island kingdom of Pyandania due to a freak storm. The legend credits the Sigic Order of the Isle of Artaeum with the sorcery behind this tempest.
Something?
The story of Kintyra II, heiress to her father Antiochus' throne, is certainly one of the saddest tales in imperial history. Her first cousin Uriel, son of Queen Potema of Solitude, accused Kintyra of being a bastard, alluding to the infamous decadence of the imperial city during her father's reign. When this accusation failed to stop her coronation, Uriel bought the support of several disgruntled kings of High Rock, Skyrim, and Morrowind, and with Queen Potema's assistance, he coordinated 3 attacks on the Septim Empire. The first attack occurred in the Iliac Bay region, which separates High Rock and Hammerfell. Kintyra's entourage was massacred, and the Empress was taken captive. For 2 years, Kintyra II languished in an imperial prison, believed to be somewhere in Glenpoint or Glenmoral, before she was slain in her cell in mysterious circumstances.
They say the Dark Elves.
The second attack was on a series of imperial garrisons along the coastal Morrowind Islands. The Empress's consort, Content Aronix, fell defending the forts. The third and final attack was a siege of the imperial city itself, occurring after the Elder Council had split up the army to attack western High Rock and eastern Morrowind. The weakened government had little defense against Uriel's determined aggression, and capitulated after only a fortnight of resistance. Uriel took the throne that same evening and proclaimed himself Uriel III, Emperor of Tamriel. The year was 3rd Era 121. Thus began the War of the Red Diamond, described in Volume 2 of this series.
Blessings upon you, traveler. Anything I can help you with? A drink or a room, perhaps? Need anything else? Just let me know.
It's kind of dark in here.
You took its very soul. Was that some sort of healing spell? Well, if you say so. Are you all right, friend? I don't know what to say. But I wonder if we should stop by the temple later, to be sure.
Hey, hands off! Yeah. Need something? You expect me to believe that? Need something? Need something? You expect me to believe that?
What do you want?
The Greybeards have summoned the Dragonborn to High Hrothgar. Such a thing has not happened for... Sure thing, it's yours for a day. Of course. I'll show you to your room, right this way.
There's plenty more where that.
Let me know if there's anything else you need.
Bunch of foreign troublemakers, wandering around, getting into mischief, scaring the citizens. They've been told to stay out of the city. They keep trying to get back in. Need something? Expect me to believe that.
How do you feel?
I took an arrow in the knee.
You'll be well soon enough.
Let me know if you see anything you like. Welcome to War Maidens. Now you, my girl, the finest weapons and armor. good doing business with you.
Take a good look around. I'm sure you'll find what you're looking for. Everything's for sale, my friend. Trinkets, odds and ends, that sort of thing. Come back. I assure you, I'm prepared to make any deal. Everything's for sale, my friend. You need visit no other shops today.
Jarl's been waiting for you.
Yes?
You heard.
What is it that you want?
What else could it mean?
The graybeards. We were just talking about you. My brother needs a word with you.
I actually advise the Jarl on political matters. If there's nothing else, do you get to the Cloud District very often? The Jarl has no time for... The Jarl has things under control. Need something? You expect me to believe that?
So what happened at the watchtower? Was the dragon there? Farewell, kinsman. So what happened at the watchtower? Was the dragon there? Keep safe. So what happened at the watchtower? Was the dragon there? I knew I could count on Irileth, but there must be more to it than that. So it's true. The Greybeards really were summoning you. Masters of the Way of the Voice. They live in seclusion, high on the slopes of the throat of the world. The Dragonborn is said to be uniquely gifted in the voice. The ability to focus your vital essence into a thum or shout. If you really are Dragonborn, they can teach you how to use your gift.
Didn't you hear the thundering sound as you returned to Whiterun? That was the voice of the Greybeards, summoning you to High Hrothgar. This hasn't happened in centuries, at least. Not since Tiber Septim himself was summoned when he was still Talos of Atmora.
Rungar, calm yourself. What does any of this Nord nonsense have to do with our friend here? Capable as she may be, I don't see any signs of her being this, what, Dragonborn.
Nord nonsense? Why, you puffed up ignorant. These are our sacred traditions that go back to the founding of the First Empire.
Rongar, don't be so hard on Avenich.
I meant no disrespect, of course. It's just that, what do these Greybeards want with her?
That's the Greybeards' business, not ours. Whatever happened when you killed that dragon, it revealed something in you, and the Greybeards heard it. If they think you're Dragonborn, who are we to argue? You'd better get up to High Hrothgar immediately. There's no refusing the summons of the Greybeards. It's a tremendous honor. I envy you know, to climb the 7,000 steps again. I made the pilgrimage once. Did you know that? High Hrothgar is a very peaceful place. Very disconnected from the troubles of this world. I wonder that the Greybeards even notice what's going on down here. They haven't seemed to care before. No matter. Go to High Hrothgar. Learn what the Greybeards can teach you. You've done a great service for me and my city, Dragonborn. By my right, Jarl, I name you Thane of Whiterun. It's the greatest honor that's within my power to grant. I assign you Lydia as a personal housecarl, and this weapon from my armory to serve as your badge of office. I'll also notify my guards of your new title. Wouldn't want them to think you're part of the common rabble, now would we? We are honored to have you as Thane of our city, Dragonborn. Back to business, Proventus. We still have a city to defend.
Yes, my lord.
Some, huh? Do you?
What can I get for you? Need anything, you just say the word.
The Madmen of the Reach by Arianus Arius, Imperial Scholar, A Defense of the Forsworn. Since the legendary victory of Tiber Septim over the barbarian natives in the Battle of Old Hroldan, Imperial and Nord scholarship has cast the people of the Reach as little more than savages, prone to irrational fits of violence, worshipping old, heretical gods, and fetishizing beasts and nature spirits that any civilized person would best well avoid. In truth, these accounts are little more than victor's essays, a perspective narrowed by the Empire's constant strife with the ancient, proud people that lived in this land far before Tiber Septim walked the soil of Tamriel. In light of this, I hope to create a more complete, accurate, and fair assessment of a group that has long suffered under the role of enemy, troublemakers, and them. Let us begin with the Forsworn, the so-called Madmen of the Reach. The Imperial Legion classifies them as little more than brigands, noting their constant raids and ambushes within the hold. But none of their military reports ask the question of why. If they were merely a group of bandits, surely they would be focused on acquiring gold and minimizing deaths among their own. But the opposite is true in Forsworn attacks. Large sums of coin are often left behind, and their fighters easily throw away their lives rather than risk capture by Imperial soldiers. It is this incongruity that led me to Markarth, the capital city of the Reach, in search of answers. There, I met one of the native peoples, an old woman who preferred not to be named in my writings. She told me of her family's long history, how she believes they originally came from High Rock, home of the Bretons, which would explain the similar faces and stature of the two peoples. How the Nords came and took their lands, their gods, and their culture from them. When asked about the Forsworn, the old woman would say that they were the real men and women of the Reach, those that refused to give in to the Nords, those that still practiced the ancient traditions that the rest of her people had abandoned in exchange for peace. In time, I was able to create trust with many more natives in my search that corroborated the old woman's story. By chance, one of them arranged a meeting between myself and what I thought was an elder member of his village. I was shocked to find that I was led to a camp, filled with animal skulls, severed heads, and still beating hearts that I had read about from the military reports back in the Imperial City. There, I met Cortoran, a Forsworn, who seemed amused at the prospect of me writing down his story, which I quote in full below. You want to know who the Forsworn are? We are the people who must pillage our own land, burn our own ground. We are the scourge of the Nords, the axe that falls in the dark, the scream before the gods claim your soul. We are the true sons and daughters of the Reach. The spirits and ags have lived here from the beginning, and they are on our side. Go back and tell your empire that we will have our own kingdom again, and on that day, we will be the ones burying your dead in a land that is no longer yours.
If you want to buy it.
If there's any more I can help you with, just let me know. I serve Jarl Balgruuf as steward. Of course. Here, this is for you.
The Jarl has appointed me to be your housecarl. It's an honor to serve you. The Jarl has recognized the title of Thane is an honor, a gift for your service. The guards will know to look the other way if you tell them who you are.
I'll be sure to put it to good use. Make sure to pull your bow all the way back to get the most power out of your shot. I'll show you what I know. What do you need? Need anything, you just say the word. Sure thing. Can I help you? Any fool can just flail about swinging his weapon. Only a fool lets himself get surrounded. Back up and make them come at you one at a time. You lead, I'll follow.
The Jarl has appointed me to be your housecarl. It's an honor to serve you. Be careful out there.
What can I do for you, friend? What do you want me to carry? Make sure to pull your bow all the way back to get the most power out of your shot. But a few years ago, she disappeared. Guards say she's murdered someone. What? But you're so curious. Just be careful. She could be dangerous. Good luck. You're on your own now.
Up for a little hunting? The Jarl had... The title of Thane is an honor, a gift. As my Thane, I'm sworn to your service. I'll guard you and all you own with my life. Need something? All right, then. Long life to you, Thane. Lead the way. Still here. Yes, my lady.
Out of my way, shit-face! Fear not. Come dragon or giant, we'll be ready. I'll take my leave then. Everything all right? Need something? Don't do that. Hi. Hello. Move along.
Forward from the publisher. The history behind this letter is almost as interesting and dark as the story it tells. The original letter to the mysterious Dwahanine was copied and began circulating around the ashlands of Vardenfall a few months ago. In time, a print found its way to the mainland in Prince Halalu Halset's palace outside Al-Malexia. While the reader may conclude after reading this letter that the prince would be furious about such a work, impugning his highness with great malevolence, quite the reverse was true. The prince and his mother, Queen Berenzia, had it privately printed into bound copies and sent to libraries and booksellers throughout Morrowind. As a matter of record, the prince and the queen have not officially stated whether the letter is a work of pure imagination or based on an actual occurrence. The House Dress has publicly
Galarian the Mystic, by Asgreen Karlsgreg, a biography of Galarian, a Psijic who founded the Mages Guild. During the early bloody years of the Second Era, Venus Galarian was born under the name Trectus, a serf on the estate of a minor nobleman, Lord Girnassi of Salakich-on-Kur. Trectus's father and mother were common laborers, but his father had secretly, against the law of Lord Girnassi, taught himself and then Trectus to read. Lord Girnassi had been advised that literate serfs were an abomination of nature and dangerous to themselves and their lords. He had closed all bookstalls within Salakich-on-Kur. All booksellers, poets, and teachers were forbidden, except within Girnassi's keep. Nevertheless, a small-scale smuggling operation kept a number of books and scrolls in circulation right under Girnassi's shadow. When Trectus was 8, the smugglers were found and imprisoned. Some said that Trectus's mother, an ignorant and religious woman fearful of her husband, was the betrayer of the smugglers. But there were other rumors as well. The trial of the smugglers was non-existent, and the punishment swift. The body of Trectus's father was kept hanging for weeks during the hottest summer Salakich-on-Kur had seen in centuries. 3 months later, Trectus ran away from Lord Girnassi's estate. He made it as far as Alinor, halfway across the Somerset Isle. A band of troubadours found him nearly dead, curled up in a ditch by the side of the road. They nursed him to health and employed him as an errand boy in return for food and shelter. One of the troubadours, a soothsayer named Heliand, began testing Trectus's mind and found the boy, though shy, to be preternaturally intelligent and sophisticated given his circumstances. Heliand recognized in the boy a commonality, for Heliand had been trained on the Isle of Artaeum as a mystic. When the troupe was performing in the village of Patansa, on the far eastern end of Somerset, Heliand took Trectus, then a boy of 11, to the Isle of Artaeum. The magister of the isle, Iacasis, recognized potential in Trectus and took him on as a pupil, giving him the name of Venus Galarian. Venus trained his mind on the Isle of Artaeum as well as his body, and thus was the first Archmagister of the Mages Guild trained. From the Psijics of the Isle of Artaeum he received his training. From his childhood of wanton injustice he received his philosophy of sharing knowledge.
Arvel's Journal, by Arvel the Swift, a journal describing how Arvel came into possession of the Golden Claw and a hint of its true purpose. My fingers are trembling. The Golden Claw is finally in my hands, and with it, the power of the ancient Nordic heroes. That fool Lucan Valerius had no idea that his favorite store decoration was actually the key to Bleak Falls Barrow. Now, I just need to get to the Hall of Stories and unlock the door. The legend says there is a test that the Nords put in place to keep the unworthy away, but that when you have the Golden Claw, the solution is in the palm of your hands. The Firmament, by Fudke, a book of constellations and their meanings. The stars of Tamriel are divided into 13 constellations. 3 of them are major constellations, known as the Guardians. These are the Warrior, the Mage, and the Thief. Each of the Guardians protects its 3 charges from the 13th constellation, the Serpent. When the sun rises near one of the constellations, it is that constellation's season. Each constellation has a season of approximately 1 month. The Serpent has no season, for it moves about in the heavens, usually threatening one of the other constellations. The Warrior. The Warrior is the first Guardian constellation, and he protects his charges during their seasons. The Warrior's own season is Last Seed, when his strength is needed for the harvest. His charges are the Lady, the Steed, and the Lord. Those born under the sign of the Warrior are skilled with weapons of all kinds, but prone to short tempers. The Mage. The Mage is a Guardian constellation whose season is Rain's Hand, when magicka was first used by men. His charges are the Apprentice, the Golem, and the Ritual. Those born under the Mage have more magicka and talent for all kinds of spellcasting, but are often arrogant and absent-minded. The Thief. The Thief is the last Guardian constellation, and her season is the darkest month of Evening Star. Her charges are the Lover, the Shadow, and the Hound. Those born under the sign of the Thief are not typically thieves, though they take risks more often, and only rarely come to harm. They will run out of luck eventually, however, and rarely live as long as those born under other signs. The Serpent. The Serpent wanders about in the sky and has no season, though its motions are predictable to a degree. No characteristics are common to all who are born under the sign of the Serpent. Those born under this sign are the most blessed and the most cursed. The Lady. The Lady is one of the Warrior's charges, and her season is Heartfire. Those born under the sign of the Lady are kind and tolerant. The Steed. The Steed is one of the Warrior's charges, and her season is Mid-Year. Those born under the sign of the Steed are impatient and always hurrying from one place to another. The Lord. The Lord's season is First Seed, and he oversees all of Tamriel during the planting. Those born under the sign of the Lord are stronger and healthier than those born under other signs. The Apprentice. The Apprentice's season is Sun's Height. Those born under the sign of the Apprentice have a special affinity for magic of all kinds, but are more vulnerable to magic as well. The Atronach. The Atronach, often called the Golem, is one of the Mage's charges. Its season is Sun's Dusk. Those born under this sign are natural sorcerers with deep reserves of magicka, but they cannot generate magicka of their own. The Ritual. The Ritual is one of the Mage's charges, and its season is Morning Star. Those born under this sign have a variety of abilities depending on the aspects of the moon and the diviners. The Lover. The Lover is one of the Thief's charges, and her season is Sun's Dawn. Those born under the sign of the Lover are graceful and passionate. The Shadow. The Shadow's season is Second Seed. The Shadow grants those born under her sign the ability to hide in shadows. The Tower. The Tower is one of the Thief's charges, and its season is Frostfall. Those born under the sign of the Tower have a knack for finding gold and can open locks of all kinds.
What's on your mind? Do let me know if I can be of service.
Yeah? Think you can steal from me? Keep your hands to yourself. The Greybeards have summoned the Dragonborn to High Hrothgar. Need something? Think you can steal from me? Keep your hands to yourself.
look at this.
Gods, not this again. You don't want to be bothering me.
Watch your mouth. Who do you think you are? The Riverwood Trader is everything you need in a general store. Yeah, we did have a bit of a break-in. We still have plenty to sell. Robbers were only after one thing. An ornament. Solid gold in the shape of a dragon's claw. You found it! There it is! Strange. It seems smaller than I remember. Funny thing, huh? I'm gonna put this back where it belongs. I'll never forget this. You've done a great thing for me and my sister. Thank you so much for taking care of the trinkets, odds and ends, that sort of thing.
That was just luck.
Huh? Here, take a look at this.
Gods, not this again. You don't want to be bothering me.
Is that sarcasm?
The Riverwood Trader is everything you need in a an ornament. Solid. You found. I'm gonna put this back where it belongs. I'll never forget this. You've done a great thing for me and my sister. Thank you so much for taking care of those thieves. The Riverwood Trader is trinkets, odds and ends, that sort of thing.
Was just lying around. Good find.
Here, take a look at this.
I have work to do.
get visitors to Riverwood. Take a look. Aye.
I guess you can have that. Ain't every day we get visitors in Riverwood. You looking for a new blade? Take a look. All right.
You won't get away with it in the name of the yard. You can't take that. I command you.
A Gentleman's Guide to Whiterun by Mikhail the Bard. Welcome, good sir, to this indispensable guide. Within these pages, I, your humble author and guide, will describe to you the great city of Whiterun, the jewel of the north. Whiterun offers numerous diversions for the man in search of adventure, fortune, and companionship, whether for a night or for a lifetime. The city is graced with not one, but two worthy taverns, and there are maids and wenches plenty. The city is located rather centrally in Skyrim, and this is well, for it is not far from anywhere. Perched high upon a rocky hill, Whiterun dominates the grassy plains that surround it. High wooden walls protect its denizens from the wolves, mammoths, bandits, and other dangers that lurk beyond. When you first enter through the city's main gate, you will find yourself in the Plains District. This is so named because it is the lowest of the city's 3 neighborhoods. Ah, but here can be found the Bannered Mare, which I count among the finest taverns in all of Skyrim. The scenery within is quite compelling, if you have an eye for the fairer sex, of course. A stout lass named Hulda tends the bar, but don't let that stony Nord exterior fool you. She is possessed of that same fiery passion that all Nord women try so hard to conceal. Sadia the barmaid is an exotic Redguard beauty. She is quite mysterious, and your humble author is determined to learn her secrets. Now outside the Bannered Mare is a modest marketplace, and here is where I found true love. Though I would never deter a fellow hunting hound from the chase, for indeed, why should I author these tomes if not to provide guidance in this very matter? I must ask you to do me this one kindness. Her name is Carlotta Valencia, and she is a magnificent beauty who makes a modest living selling bread and produce in the daylight hours. By the gods, I will make that feisty beauty mine someday. And of course, there are other services to be found in the Plains District. Bellathor's General Goods offers various and sundry wares for the adventurous traveler, and Arcadia's Cauldron offers what tonics and herbs one would expect from an apothecary's shop. Arcadia herself is an amiable sort. I often visit with her to make conversation, as she is a fellow Imperial far from home. She is, however, a bit old for my taste, although a gentleman of advanced years might find in her a worthy companion. Should you need your blade sharpened or your armor hammered, War Maidens offer smithing services very near the main gate. The smith is a pretty Nord girl named Adriana Avenici, but she's married to this great hulking brute named Ulfberth Warbearer. Adriana is quite fair, but I should not want to find myself being introduced to the keen edge of that husband's war axe. If married ladies are your preferred sport, then have at it, but don't say that you weren't warned. Now near to the smith is the Drunken Huntsman. Here, some of the wealthier gentlemen gather to share both drink and rumors of the wide world. If you prefer a more distinguished class of company while you sit and find wine, you'll be well at home here. Of the Wind District, I have little to say. Most of the buildings in this second tier of the city are residences, though there is also a Temple of Kinnereth and Jorvaskr, the Mead Hall of the Companions. There are some intriguing prospects to be found in the Mead Hall if you favor a strong and fearless warrior woman. You'll find little game at the temple, however. The priestess, Danica Purespring, is interested almost exclusively in spiritual matters. At last we come to the Cloud District, exclusive domain of the Jarl's Castle. I've had some merry adventures within the stone walls of Dragon's Reach, let me tell you. The serving girls are most easily impressed by a well-spoken Imperial. After all, the nights in Skyrim do grow quite cold, if you take my meaning. And I will not deny that I have visited the town's jail once or twice, which can be found in the lower levels of the palace. As for the Jarl and his court, take pains to avoid them. I find they lack any sense of humor or appreciation for Imperial culture. Besides which, they're all wealthy men, and so must be viewed as your most serious competition. These Nords are simple folk, after all, and too easily swayed by the sight of fine clothes and a purse full of septums. Now I will conclude this work by wishing you great success in your pursuit of women and wine. Spare a moment in your revels to think of me, your humble author, and the risks that I have taken to bring you this most thorough report on all things of interest to the discerning gentleman in the grand city of Whiterun. Ah, but I will not lie and say that it was all a hardship. After all, who could want to sleep alone in such a cold and hard land as this? Not I.
Come on, there are things ladies like us are supposed to do. Watch it. What's the matter with you?
My God, no! Did that really just happen? Did that really just happen?
Whatever you need. By his smear, if it's simple and strong, I can forge it. Whatever you need. You looking for a new blade? The finest weapons and armor.
The gourmet is hiding out somewhere in Skyrim. You know, fella who wrote that cookbook? Years passed. The thought of my wood being used for weapons? I have to admit, I'm attached to the place. Suppose that makes me crazy, doesn't it? We're a small village. Only worry we've got is the war reaching the... It's my mill. Some folks think it's my town too. And by Alvor can help you out. He's our blacksmith. Be careful out there. They say the college has been snooping around Sartal. Mages and burial. No good can come of that. Yeah? Need something? You expect me to believe that?
You and me, we're the only people around who aren't complete fools. Take a look. I think I have a few old spell books laying about. If you want more, you'll have to go to the College of Winterhold. Till next time.
Do you feel all right?
As well as can be expected.
All right then. Oh, hello.
Nords Arise by Anonymous. Stormcloak's recruitment essay calling for
Lucky
rebellion
for you, that was
against
just
the
sitting
Empire.
there for the taking.
Nords, arise! Throw off the shackles of imperial oppression. Do not bow to the yoke of a false emperor. Be true to your blood, to your homeland. The Empire tells us we cannot worship Holy Talos. How can man set aside a god? How can a true Nord of Skyrim cast aside the god that rose from our own heartland? Mighty Tiber Septim, himself the first emperor, conqueror of all Tamriel, ascended to godhood to sit at the right hand of Akatosh. Tiber Septim, a true son of Skyrim, born in
Lucky for you, that was just sitting there for the taking.
Confessions of a Khajiit Fur Trader. A Khajiit's memoir of the black market fur trade. My execution is tomorrow. The turnkey asks what I'd like for my last meal. Bring me paper, I say. A quill and a candle. Perhaps the Jarl would like a confession. I would rather pass the time. When my father's harem burned down and our family fortune was lost to the ashes, my brother and I set to begging in the gutters of elsewhere. I will never forget the first time we stole a traveler's purse. It was almost by accident. Just a slip of the claw and the pouch fell into our hands. We ate like kings that night. We slept in a warm bed for the first time in months. Soon after, my brother and I took up the knife. The gang we joined treated us as the dirty orphans we were. We robbed, we scammed, we cut and ran, and years of debauchery and hard living took their toll. I lost half my ear in a knife fight with a blind, drunk Argoni.
I wanted to give up, but my brother, he dreamed bigger and better. My brother wanted to make it to Cyrodiil and become legit merchants. We had a plan, one final heist of a northbound caravan, said to be filled with treasures. Something went wrong. My brother could not stop the horses on time, and I stood helplessly by and watched the wagon plummet over a cliff. But as I picked through the wreckage, my devastation turned to excitement. There were no jewels, but there were plenty of luxurious wolf pelts, horka tusks, and mammoth hides. More than enough to pay my way to Cyrodiil. I'd follow in the footsteps of so many of my kind. A traveling merchant, someone with a respectable profession. I had all the furs bundled in my pack when I saw my brother's broken body. His ears were still warm, and I shut his eyes for the last time. This was his dream, and he would want me to go. But what I wanted, well, the caravan guards were coming. I had to go, but I couldn't just leave his body to rot. My brother gave me my first skin. It was to be a memento, but in the darkness of the fence's cabin, a coin hit my hand heavy. Then she looked at my brother's pelt, offered 3 times the amount of any other fur. Disgust caught in my throat, but did not live very long. I realized the cost of such a forbidden luxury, the value, the demand, the respect. This is what I wanted. It became easier. A dark alley, a gag in one hand, and a quick slice across the throat. I gently hold the body as it bleeds. I became faster, my cuts precise and fluid. I peel the skin with one motion, and kept the merchandise pristine in one piece. I became rich, far richer than anyone in my family had ever been. Yet I was careful. My stronghold was well hidden and practically impenetrable. I hired the men that used to employ me. We moved frequently on less traveled roads when we hunted in the wild. We stalked the back alleys we used to sleep in when we hunted in the city. I grew so rich that I no longer needed to dirty my own hands. Patchwork-colored furs fetched the best price among the Bosma. Argonians preferred the pelts completely skinned and tanned. Orcs prized the thick, waterproof leather of the Argonians. Humans most often bought tails and ears. I had to employ an alchemist and a master craftsman for a couple of odd requests, but I didn't ask any questions when the gold piled up. And now I'm a prisoner. Maybe I became careless. Maybe I let too many secrets slip between the sheets. The raid of my fortress was a massacre. They took me alive. Barely. That was their mistake. My enemy should have killed me when they had the chance. I have one lockpick, and the northern wall of my cell is weak from disrepair. My head shall not roll tomorrow. I am not finished with the trade. There will always be buyers. Someday, I will sell my own skin for a king's ransom, as my name is legend. Yours shall rot in the gutters with your bones.
With the soldiers all fighting in the war, there's nobody to hunt down the bandits. Travel has become dangerous of late. Yes, and just like weeds, they're nothing but trouble. Maybe you can help me. Thank you. I will not forget this.